Next stop, Maryland Street, St. Joseph's Health Center. Please look right for traffic when exiting.
Hey folks, it is Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, 5:58 p.m. is the time, and the temperature is around 21 degrees Celsius. And I am here in the Parkdale neighborhood, and this could also be considered the south end of Roncesvalles on Roncesvalles Avenue. And that was a 504 King streetcar I was just on. And there's a look north up Roncesvalles. And that'll take you right up to Dundas West Station, where I caught that streetcar. It feels like it's been a while since I've been in this area. For this one, I'll be heading east along Queen Street West, across Parkdale and into West Queen West. Man, that guy's got some squeaky shoes. I need to make my way over to Ossington Avenue. I'll be meeting a couple of friends for dinner there, and I thought, let's bring the camera and make a walk on the way. So that's what we're doing. So I'll make a left here once we get to Queen Street West. And this neighborhood sits roughly between Roncesvalles Avenue, where I am now, to the west, and Dufferin Street to the east. And it also extends south, down towards the lake a bit. And I think the northern border of Parkdale. Hey, why yield? Isn't a straight east-west line across. That's Grafton Avenue Park on the left. This is a very interesting intersection coming up. 4 different major streets meet, and they all have different names. There's a lot of street art, and I guess what you could call grit in Parkdale. But this is Roncesvalles Avenue, which to the north of here actually turns into Dundas Street West. And to the west of the intersection, that street is the Queensway. To the east of the intersection is Queen Street West. And to the south, well, that's the western terminus of King Street. King Street and Queen Street run parallel for the most part, but King kind of merges into Queen on both ends. As on the east side of downtown, King also ends right at Queen. And now it is east along the north side of Queen Street West.
Okay, don't grab me.
Grand Trunk Spirits and Libations. There's a lot of really neat businesses here. That looks like a comics and collectible shop. A lot of unique cafes and hole-in-the-wall dive bar style establishments. Places Thai boat noodles. And you'll also notice a lot of Tibetan restaurants as we go further to the east. And the 504 King Street car is running along this stretch of Queen. There's another neat shop, tattoos, gallery, and salon. But Parkdale was founded as an independent settlement back in the 1850s as part of York County. It was incorporated into a village in 1879, and it later was amalgamated in Toronto in 1889. And it spent its first hurrah in Toronto as an upper income residential neighborhood. There's the Parkdale Hall, The Art of Letting Go, Sown EP release. So it's kind of a similar tale to the east side of downtown around Upper Jarvis. There's a lot of grand old homes in Parkdale, and as time went on, it served a lower and lower income class, although Parkdale is gentrifying, and that is turning around for better or for worse. Remember when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s growing up, this was one of those stay out of there neighborhoods. Well, I think that was mostly just the reputation. I'm not so sure that was the reality. But it's definitely got a certain hipster flavor to it now. Creative outlet. There's a lot of really unique and inviting shops. Speaking of which, I was in the Junction yesterday. It had a similar kind of appeal. So over 100 years ago, this was kind of a wealthy suburban area. But when they built the Gardner Expressway, the major highway along the south end of Toronto, and they closed the Sunnyside Amusement Park, that signaled sort of a shift into this area being a low-income neighborhood. I popped into this place on a live stream once, Maverick's Donut Company. They had a sign in the window that said, call a phone number for donuts. I wonder if it's just closed temporarily. It's one of the dive bars here. Pretty good barber shop. You don't see too many of these signs overhanging sidewalks these days. It was in the 60s the area started to accept a lot of Tibetan refugees. Driven by China's hostile takeover of Tibet. And I think in North America, this area has the highest Tibetan population, or population of people of Tibetan descent. In fact, there's a high school here where there's more Tibetan Canadians than any other ethnicity. And in the 70s, a number of patients were discharged from the Queen Street and Lakeshore psychiatric hospitals who found their way to this area. And that sort of contributed to the reputation of poverty and crime and drug use. But the neighborhood can support some very expensive, at least for fast food, fried chicken. When this place opened, there were massive lines in front of it. Right next to sporting goods and workwear. That's funny. My friend just recorded me seconds ago, and he's got his friend in the car, and he sent me a WhatsApp saying, "Hey, you did hear me." He's one of the people I'm meeting. He's taking his kid home from swimming. That's kind of hilarious. It's always good to have a lot of evidence supporting your alibi. I just got that. I just got that. Well, no. Hi, Cameron. All right, see you soon. Well, that's a good friend I've known since high school. We even lived together at one point. Had a house in the St. Lawrence neighborhood. There's a Tibetan restaurant. I think she was posing Afrobeat Kitchen open. Nepali Himalayan restaurant. There's one called Little Tibet. So we walk past the Momo Cafe. Momo is basically a variation of a dumpling, or mandu as they would say in Korea. one of the most famous residents of this neighborhood. Was the singer from The Weeknd. He moved here apparently in 2007. And this is where he was when he debuted his mixtape, House of Balloons. It's an Amazon Basics mattress. And this is Lansdowne Avenue. So you could go north here all the way up to Lansdowne Station. I'm just asking ChatGPT to give me 6 interesting facts about Parkdale. Let's see what it comes up with here. Number 1, diverse community. Parkdale is known for its rich cultural diversity with a mix of longtime residents and newcomers from various backgrounds, contributing to a vibrant community atmosphere. 2, historical significance. Originally a separate village, Parkdale became part of Toronto in 1889. I already beat you to that one, ChatGPT. The area features many historical buildings and Victorian homes, reflecting its architectural heritage. Number 3, Lake Ontario proximity. Parkdale is located near the shores of Lake Ontario, providing residents with access to beautiful waterfront parks, trails, and recreational activities. That's certainly true. Wouldn't have been hard to keep going south from where I started this and take a pedestrian bridge over to the area around Lake Ontario.
Lakeshore to Long Branch.
There's the 508 via King, except it's not on King. I don't think we'll ever see a day in anyone's lifetime where all the streetcar lines are running without disruptions or diversions. I always point this place out. Loga's Corner across the street. It's one of the best Momo spots here. I sent Action Kid there once when he was visiting Toronto. All right, ChatGPT. Number 4, arts and culture. The neighborhood has a thriving art scene with numerous galleries, theaters, and creative spaces. It says the Parkdale Art Gallery.
Hey, you got them online?
Hmm?
I'll give my Gmail. Can I get 20 bucks for it?
Sorry.
I take e-transfer.
Someone trying to be creative, looking for 20 bucks. The Parkdale Art Gallery and local festivals celebrate local artists and performers. All right, we've got 2 more ChatGPT interesting facts here. Number 5, community activism. Parkdale has a strong tradition of community activism, particularly in areas related to housing rights and social justice. Various grassroots organizations work to address local issues. That one could apply to a number of different neighborhoods. I think that Korean restaurant's pretty new. Or Himalayan cuisine right next to a Popeyes.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
And the sixth interesting fact, according to ChatGPT, transit access. The neighborhood is well connected to downtown Toronto through public transit, including the Queen streetcar and nearby subway stations. Nearby subway stations. You have to go all the way up to Dundas West or Dufferin up to Dufferin Station. That's not very accurate, ChatGPT. Making it convenient for commuting and exploring the city. I would kind of disagree with that last one. It's not the most convenient place to get to. Tio Lounge. And that place is an artist hub at 1313. Oh, maybe when we get to West Queen West, I'll ask ChatGPT for some more fun info. Which won't be in too long. We are almost at the east end of Parkdale. All right, my friend just messaged he has a table already. At the restaurant. We weren't going to meet till 7, but he said he was going to go a little early and try to get a table. This is very early. That restaurant is Côte de Boeuf. A place I've been wanting to go to for quite a while. Made you look jewelry. I think I'll be there. Let's see, 6:20, maybe. I'm gonna guess it's about 15 minutes from here. There's the new home of Tilt Arcade. Hopefully their final home. They've had bad luck with their prior locations. There's a bad fire at their previous one on Dundas Street West. They had a dispute with their landlord at the one before that on Bloor Street West. That's an awesome place, and you can play a lot of retro games there and pinball machines and that sort of thing. And there is the Rhino. I really like their patio. I was a little soured on that place. I went there one night with a friend after dinner, and service was non-existent. And you know, when you've been waiting for 20 minutes at a place and another group comes in, seats themselves, and gets served before you, or at least for me, I hit my breaking point. I get it, they were busy, but I'm not gonna jump up and down like an idiot trying to get a waiter's attention. All right, we are almost at Dufferin Street. Let's see what Google says. My location to Côte de Boeuf. It says 18-minute walk. 1.3 kilometers away. I'll message I'll be there in 15. We made it to Dufferin Street. There's a 29 Dufferin bus. It's a route change. It wasn't too long ago this underpass was completely plugged up, and you'd have to do the Dufferin jog if you were driving north. And head over to Gladstone Avenue. I'm just asking ChatGPT for 6 interesting facts about West Queen West. Doing some lazy YouTubing here. That 501 streetcar is going to the Dufferin Gate. So West Queen West is along Queen Street West. It's not an actual neighborhood, it's the name of a business improvement area. And that's between Dufferin Street here and Bathurst Street, Bathurst being the western north-south border of downtown. Right, ChatGPT's results are in. Number 1, it's a cultural hub. West Queen West is known for its vibrant art scene featuring numerous gallery studios and creative spaces. It's recognized as one of the top art districts in Canada. I don't actually know about that one. I think a lot of artists would have been priced out of this area. But there is the Gladstone Hotel, operated by the same people who operate the Broadview Hotel. There's another old hotel called the Drake coming up. At one point, Gladstone used to have bespoke one-of-a-kind rooms. Each one had its own theme, but apparently they've done away with that. Trying to think of what this used to be. I know there's a bar in a corner coming up called Death and Taxes. I don't think this is where it was located. Number 2, it says street art. The neighborhood is famous for its impressive street art and murals. Many local and international artists have contributed to the dynamic visual landscape, making it a popular destination for art lovers. It was also once named by Vogue magazine as one of the coolest neighborhoods in the world. number 3, it says trendy shops and cafes. West Queen West is filled with unique boutiques, vintage shops, and trendy cafes. It has become a hotspot for shopping and dining, attracting both locals and visitors. Well, that's pretty true. Number 4, it says historic architecture. The area features a mix of historic buildings and modern developments. Many of the original Victorian storefronts have been preserved, adding to the neighborhood's charm. And the next point comes up at the perfect time, as there's the Drake Hotel. It says the Drake Hotel, one of West Queen West's most iconic landmarks. The Drake is a cultural hub that hosts live music, art exhibitions, and various events, making it a central part of the community. It's often a buzz on Friday and Saturday nights. Really cool looking bar. It wouldn't be my first choice of hotel to stay at. I just think relying on the streetcar wouldn't be the best, but certainly wouldn't knock anyone who wanted to stay out here. And the next point is gentrification and change. Over the years, West Queen West has undergone significant gentrification. That is true of all of Queen Street West, and Queen Street East for that matter, through Leslieville and Riverside. It's a sushi restaurant. It is transformed from an industrial area into a trendy neighborhood. I don't know about the industrial area. That's more fitting for Liberty Village. But then it says this change has brought both benefits and challenges, such as rising rents and displacement of longtime residents. There's Dog and Bear. Oh wow, a very nice looking spot. Looks like we're not going to make this light. So apparently I did walk by Death and Taxes and it's open. I just missed it. Well, let's see how far we are from Côte de Boeuf now. It says 9 minutes and it's recommending I turn this way. No, we're gonna stick to the main drag here. Disco, homemade ice cream and cookies. Gonna pick up the pace and walk a little quicker. There's Cam H, the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. That's where the old psychiatric hospital used to be. There's another one on Lakeshore and Etobicoke. It's a really huge campus, but it means we are very close to Ossington Avenue. the Treat Bar Pet Boutique. This area definitely has a different vibe than what you'd find here on a weekend.
Seems fine.
Healthy people being healthy. How about a table from that cozy shop? Well, we're only halfway or so across West Queen West. It's time to go north up the trendy Ossington. I just shot my friend a text asking if you want to be on video, and he said nope. So I'll end recording this right before we get there. That wasn't the guy in the SUV. Well, we're almost there. It's just a few blocks north of here on the left. And welcome to one of the trendiest streets in town. I went to a restaurant here about a month and a half ago called Season 6 that was excellent. And the place I'm going to tonight is a pretty well-known spot on this street. I think Bellwoods Brewery is probably the best known. There's also a restaurant called Paris. That can be quite hard to get reservations at.
About it, and
There's a couple of really good faux restaurants on this street as well.
I know. I can't wait.
Right, we're a block away. I think it's just north of Argyle Street, which is the next one. And this place we're going to doesn't take reservations, it's walk-in only, so hopefully my friend isn't feeling awkward hogging a table alone. But it is right across the street here next to Bellwoods Brewery, so I hope you enjoyed this one through Parkdale and West Queen West. Do let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and channel membership down below. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. I believe we are here. Yeah, it is just north of Bellwoods Brewery. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll let you know how the meal was in a future video, or not. I'll probably forget. But I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.